Hey guys, welcome to my channel Hairliciously. Now lately I've been getting a lot of emails requesting me to do a video and a tutorial on how to apply minoxidil and derma-rolling for maximum hair growth. There's a lot of different ways that you guys can do this, but I'm going to show you guys the way that works best for me. And before I get started, there's a lot of people who are under the misconception that derma-rolling with minoxidil is used so that it can better absorb minoxidil, but that's not true because the purpose of derma-rolling, if you guys haven't watched my previous video, is to create these little tiny wounds on the areas, your scalp or your skin, whatever areas that you're using derma rollers, and it's going to regenerate and stimulate the hair follicles and collagen. So that's what causes the hairs to grow. It's not the absorption, so please don't get that mixed up. So the other thing is that minoxidil actually inhibits collagen production. So after about an hour or two after using the derma roller, your skin's gonna start to produce collagen. So there's a study done. There are about 100 people, 50 of them which received minoxidil 5%. And then there's another group that received minoxidil 5% with derma rolling once a week. And over a span of 12 weeks, the study found that the group that were using minoxidil with derma rolling had significantly more hair growth over the 12-week period. So the thing is, when you're using derma rollers, it takes about 24 hours for the skin to heal on the areas that you apply derma rolling. Collagen production happens about an hour after using derma rolling. So if you're using minoxidil right after derma rolling, it's going to negate the benefits of minoxidil, because what happens with minoxidil is that minoxidil actually inhibits collagen production. So make sure you don't want to use it right after, because the other thing is it's going to sting a lot. That's why a lot of people report stinging, skin irritation. And if you use it right after, you're going to get a lot of side effects because it's going to go into your system because you've created all those wounds, which is going to help the absorption of minoxidil into your system, and that's not what you want. So a lot of people who do that, they suffer from irregular heartbeats, headaches, dizziness. So those are things that you want to avoid. So make sure that you never want to do derma rolling and minoxidil at the same time. At the very least, you want to wait about 12 hours after using your derma rolling before you apply minoxidil. So the one that I normally get is from Walmart. It's the Quake brand. Sometimes I get the Kirkland brand from Costco, but this is the one that I've been using so far. This one here is the generic brand. It comes in this little bottle. It's a 1-month supply. You can get it at Walmart for about $12, and it's a lot cheaper than getting the actual brand Rogaine. It's the same thing, it contains 5% minoxidil. Sometimes they do come in 2%, but for better results, you want to go with the one that has 5%. And it comes with a dropper, and what you want to do is you want to use this twice a day. And on this dropper here, it shows you 1 milliliter. That's how much you want to use. And so what you want to do is you want to get about 1 milliliter, apply it in the morning, when you wake up, or after you shower, and then when you come back home from night, you can apply another set of minoxidil onto your scalp right before you go to bed. The longer hair that you have is going to be a little bit more harder because you would have to kind of get in there, dig in there. And they do offer minoxidil in the foam version, and I find that the foam version is a little bit harder to use because it gets on your hair and it's not going to absorb into your scalp as well because it kind of gets in the way. So the nice thing about this dropper is that you can pretty much part your hair and then drop it in certain areas where you're receding or balding. The package states that it's only used for the vertex, but that's not true. The reason why they state that it's for the vertex is because they only test it on the vertex and not the hairline or the temples or anything like that. But in my case, it's been working very well. I didn't have any side effects and I've been getting good results. So I'm going to continue to use it. Let me show you guys how I use it with long hair. The best way for long hair is to kind of part the hairs, kind of like that, and then put it on the areas where you feel like you're receding. In my case, since I got a hair transplant, this here is not my original hairline and it's not going to recede. So my original hairline is actually in the back here, about 1 centimeter from my new hairline. And so what I like to do is I like to start from the corners here, right into the temples, part my hair. If you guys have a brush, that also helps out. And then just get your dropper and just gently drop some right in there. If you want, you can kind of rub it in the areas, and then you want to keep on doing the same thing, part the hairs like so. Get the dropper, put a drop in there, and then let it absorb with the scalp. Same thing with the rest of your hairline. The good thing about this one, it does smell like alcohol, but once you put it on, they say that it's unscented. I haven't had any issues with, you know, as far as smells or anything like that. So I really like using this one. If you guys want to follow my regimen on a weekly basis, what I like to do is I try using Derma-Rolling once or twice a week, and I always wait at least 12 hours before I do the Derma-Rolling if I put on Minoxidil. For example, let's say on Monday in the mornings after I shower, I would put on Minoxidil, and then when I come back home from work, right before I go to bed, I would put another drop of Minoxidil. The following day, on Tuesday, wake up in the morning, put on Minoxidil on my hairline, and then when I come back that night, after about 12-13 hours has passed, I would use Derma-Rolling. So this is the one that I use, and you guys can get this on my website. It's the 1.5 milliliter because the study that was done on the 100 participants was using 1.5 milliliters for the Derma-Rolling. So after 12 hours has passed by, I'm just gonna show you guys. It might sting a little, but I'll still show you guys. Just make sure you guys don't do it right after. So for longer hair, it's a little bit difficult, but same way, you wanna part your hair from the hairline. So let's say I wanna do the temples first. Part the temples. Get your Derma roller. And just go up and down about 10 times. You never want to move this around into a different direction without lifting it first because it's going to cause you to bleed and it's going to scratch your scalp. So you always want to do it either vertically, horizontally, and then diagonally. So you want to do it about 10 times back and forth. Now obviously if you have shorter hair it's a lot easier, but in my case you just have to move the hairs, just part it out and then just use the Derma roller. So do that, do it this way, stings a little, you shouldn't do this, and then vertically. So you guys get the point, right? Alright, so you want to do the same thing all throughout, you know, part the hairs, but like I said, never use Derma-Rolling right after using Minoxidil or the other way around because it's, first of all, it's going to burn. You're going to get a lot more side effects because you're creating all these punctures and the Minoxidil is going to get absorbed and it's going to negate whatever benefits that you're trying to reap out of using Minoxidil and Derma-Rolling. This thing here, if you guys go on my website, it's going to come with this little cover and you really want to make sure that this is sanitized before you use it because there's tiny needles and you don't want to risk getting an infection. So what you want to do before you guys use this is fill this up with about, you know, halfway or 3/4 of rubbing alcohol. And in this case, I'm just gonna put in water for now because I don't know where I put my alcohol. So there's water in there. Lock it in, and then set it aside for a few minutes so that it can kind of get in there and sanitize the needles. So after about 5 minutes, take it out, rinse it with warm water for a few seconds, and then you can start using it. And then once you're done with it, do the same thing. Make sure you sanitize it with rubbing alcohol, and then let it dry up, and you can store it in a nice area where it's not going to collect dust or anything like that. So after about 20 uses for the Derma roller, you want to replace it because the tips can get blunt. And so make sure you replace it if you find that the needles get blunt. But in my case, I've used it for 25-30 times and then I've replaced it. So about a month in, you want to replace it so that the needles are nice and sharp. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Feel free to subscribe, like this video. And if you guys are interested in purchasing the Derma roller or Minoxidil, I'll give you the links below so you guys can take a look. But thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.